Daniel and I are headed to a small local lake, a little bitty one. I'm not sure how big the lake is, but we're gonna go just see if we can catch some fish. So today we're headed to the lake just for a few hours. See what we can wrangle up. I haven't been to this lake in a long time, so let's see what we can catch. We didn't go very far from the ramp. We just put in right over there, and we started throwing. Daniel was throwing a little 1.5 KVD square bill, and I started throwing around a thunder cricket. Now we're both flipping some of this shoreline cover here with some lighter weights. Water temperature is reading 63.5 degrees. Likely looking bass cover right here. It's a small lake, and I think I saw one boat and 3 kayaks. So it's getting a decent amount of pressure. These buck bushes like this, they should have some fish around them. Fish either getting ready to spawn or have spawned. It's just a great place for a fish to try to make a bed because of all the overhead cover they can get up underneath there. I'm not sure if they would rather have something moving, but I would have to imagine that whatever they want, they're in some sort of spawning phase. There's a couple of looks like there's a couple swirls up there. They may be signs of either feeding activity or some fish on beds. But right now we're just looking for some sort of clue, either in location or presentation. The first line item that you need to cross when you're out there on the water is where the fish are predominantly, and then what presentations are they going to be susceptible to. Do they want this plastic? Do they want something moving based on the conditions? You really need to kind of keep an open mind. I mean, I figured these fish are spawning, but I need to keep an open mind. These fish might be in a chasing mood. They may want a square bill, they may want a spinnerbait, they may want a buzz bait, something overhead. They may still bite a flipping rig or some sort of, there's one. Oh, that was a bite for sure. Drop the power poles. It is, dude, that's where they spawn. Get up there in the dirt, dude. Back with another rage bug. Oof. He was right at the base of that tree right there. Right through here is like the bank is a little steeper. We've been hitting kind of flat banks, but it looks like the lake's been dropping, so maybe they don't want to be on the flat banks. Maybe they want to be on these more banks with more of an incline to them. We'll try them out. Here's one. Yay, we broke the ice. Look how thick he is. Woo, daddy. That's about the smallest bass I've ever caught on this lake. But look how thick he is. He's eating right. Got him on a rage bug, Okeechobee Craw, 5/16 ounce tour grade tungsten weight, 20-pound test gamma fluorocarbon. Not much of a bite. It was more like I just picked up on it and it felt like it was swimming off. But that's our first bite, and it's actually taken us quite a long time to get that first bite. Tell you what you have to do. Try to grab him by the lower jaw, and that way you can...
Oh. Thank you.
Good job. If I didn't know better, I'd say these fish weren't really spawning yet. They look so thick and healthy. There's one. Whoa! They're all about the same size. It's almost like they're all little males. So bizarre. Like I was talking about how every time I come here and get big ones, and now
You got
small ones.
3 small ones. 3 of the smallest, actually.
There's one. Crappie!
Oh my goodness.
That's a crappie. Hit the power poles. That might have been what bit me last time. Dude, he will not stop. Crappie action. We are going to keep him. Crappies. That's a good one. That's what we should do, is go up to Fork and start catching some crappies.
Oh, yeah.
Some crappies.
That thing's a monster.
That was good. Oh. Whoa! I was bringing it back in and he bit it. On the old raging bug. Rage bug catches crappie, little bitty bass, everything. Oh yeah, nice. On the rage bug, Okeechobee Craw. Way to go, Daniel.
Thanks.
You could look like you like it. You see how it's all flattened out? That's a beaver den for sure. You see how there's mud up there? It's like a fish magnet right here, dude.
They're a lot taller.
There's one. Oh yeah. All right. That's the kind that live in here right there. Look at that chunker rooski. It's like they just got here. Look how pretty the colors are. Oop, look at that. He's peeing. That means he's on a bed. That means there might be a big old female in there. He thumped it. Look how thick they are. Whew. Pretty fish. Got some little water willow growing up right there. I like to spawn around that water willow too. Little bank vine or grass right there. It's interesting, we couldn't get bit until we got on some steeper banks, and now we're getting bit even on these real shallow banks, so flat type banks. The fish, I feel like they're predominantly are males up, and have not caught any big females yet, but our time is not over yet. It's just about 5 o'clock, and I think we'll go to about 5:30. That'll give it an actual 3 hours of fishing. I would like to see Daniel hook into a gigantor. I feel it, it's coming. If it doesn't come down this stretch right here, you got some more bushes right there, but then also you got those bushes back there and there. This could get good for us, but they seem like they were back a little closer to the deeper water transition, where this goes really flat and starts to get a little deeper. It's like those fish just got to where they're now spawning, which is really bizarre because I would have thought that they would have been further along on this pond. Well, it's really not a pond. It's a small lake, big pond is what I would call this. One of the things I think is really important fishing for spawning fish like this, where you're off colored water and you're flipping for fish that you are pretty certain are on beds, but you can't see them, is making a nice soft presentation as much as possible. And that takes a lot of practice. There we go. Get him, big guy. Oh, he came off. Good. That was nice set hook set. I don't know what happened. See if a female's over there. Man, I felt like you drilled him really good. As soon as you feel tunt, drill him. No, I'm serious. As soon as you think I just got a bite, you need to hammer the snot out of them. I mean, full snot action. Okay? Oh, there was there was one. Boy, they just look like they're little guys in here. But they're fun. They are fun. He was right up against the base of that bush right there that's been eaten up by the beaver to make his little beaver den. All right, I'm gonna leave you some of these bushes be. I'm gonna go right to the best one of the bunch anyways. Oh, golly, I had another one. He just swam off with it. These must be little baby bucks. So like I pitch over to where I think a fish will be on a bed, and then I try not to move it far horizontally. I try to just kind of shake it in there like it's trying to come in and invade his space. And then if I don't get a bite after a couple shakes like that, then I'll drag it a little bit, tighten up my line, and then shake it a couple more times. If I don't get a bite, once I get with a foot or two away from the bush, then I think it's okay to go ahead and reel it in. Probably not going to bite it. Bed fishing for bass you can't see. Dude, it's so weird. Like, I've never caught small ones here, and they're like almost all of them are small ones. Daniel, see these bushes? That's a gimme right there. A gimme. Isolated bushes like that. I mean, they're two together, but they're kind of isolated from all the rest of them. Whap, 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 and then nothing, 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 nothing. And then whap, whap. And you're like, oh, they're right here. And then nothing. You know what I'm saying? Yes. It's so, oh golly, I just got drilled right there. Pitch right in there where I just did. Just right in the base of that deal. Yes, yes. Nice. Just kind of ease it over top of that top's twig. Just ease it nice. There you go, perfect. Let it fall. It's probably a crappie. Golly, it must have been a crappie then, because I pitched in there, I was like, pop, pop. There's one. Oh, did you see my line? Pitch in there. My line was just streaking off. Gotta be little ones. That was so rotten. Oh. Yes! Oh! There we go. Golly, this is one of those things about this lake that make it so interesting, because those fish are so thick. They're healthy. Top to bottom there. We have had a good time. We've had a decent amount of bites in a very short amount of time. The quality's not been what it typically is, but the action's been better than it normally is. So that's a nice trade-off. Definitely love the fact that there are some great little lakes so near to where I live, where I can just get away with my son or by myself. I would have said that those fish were going to be further along in the spawn, but just looking at the males that we did catch, they were really thick. And usually when they've been on the beds for a while, what ends up happening is those males will get pretty lean after, you know, hanging around and protecting the bed for a couple of weeks. But those fish look like they just got there. So that was pretty interesting. Only caught one that was better quality, but had, you know, had good action. Females are yet to come still, or they're just kind of hanging off. We were just having so much fun fishing for those males that were on beds and that were protecting or feeling like guarding a little area. So we just, this video really is just about what it's like to go fish for fish that are spawning or on beds that are protective of an area, or potentially getting ready to set up a bed in a certain area, and what that's like when you can't see them, when you can't visually see them. That lake generally has a good stain, and we've had a lot of rain here this spring and in March, and it just rained here a couple days ago, so the water's still got a good stain. And so that was really kind of fishing for bedfish, using the flipping and pitching technique to try to catch bedfish that you can't see. So Daniel did catch one on a crankbait, and we had several other bites that we never did catch. I think there was some crappie up there bedding too, so it's kind of a mixed bag, but we only caught that one really nice crappie. That's kind of something that anglers can do all across the country in the March and April time frame when fish are hitting the banks to do their annual spawning ritual. Thanks for tuning into my YouTube channel. Till next time, good fishing.